and welcome back to another video. This video is 5 simple traps that you can do on your friends. Just want to thank her friend for helping me with this video. I hope you enjoy. See you in the video. So today, for your first trap, I'm going to show you how to build a falling sand trap. First, let's test it. So some beginner or a noob or someone who maybe not played Minecraft for very long will come and dig the diamond block, celebrate, be really happy, and then fall to their demise. As you can see, my friend here fell to his demise to help out with this channel, so thank you. So now I will show you how to build it. Go back to Future Michael. See you afterwards. So, hello. So now we're going to build a trap you just saw with my friend falling into a pit. He's helping me out with this because it just takes a while. First thing you want to do is dig a hole. Just dig a hole, and then find roughly the centre. We dug this hole evenly, and I can't be bothered to change it, so therefore it is staying like that. Make sure your hole is deep enough that someone will, if they fall into it, will die. So quickly turn yourself into survival, please, and jump off. So you can see, holes dig deep enough, it works. Let me just TP you back. There you go, you're back. Oh yeah, don't want to forget you can get yourself back. So place the diamond block in your center, iron, any block that you think someone on your server will break. Next thing you're going to do is, with some observers, you're just going to pile downwards quickly. So I'll do that. This is, if you're in survival, this is going to cost a lot of quartz. That's quite a tedious thing. But you can use the piglin bartering to farm quartz. I will leave a link to that video that I made. Another shameless self-promotion. And then you're going to build outwards to the ends with observers again. And your last one you may need to dig into the wall to place it. And then we're also going to work out, going to go to the center of this and also put an observer on both sides again. So as you can see, oh yeah, this hole's not even, so there we go. And now we're going to get ourselves some pistons. I already have some. So we're going to go along to a corner. We're going to put our piston down. Oh, already have one in my inventory. We're going to do the same here. Do this in all the corners. And then link in some observers. There we go. And then see on these extra observers we added, you're going to put pistons there and there as well. You're then going to get yourself some scaffolding. This is slightly tedious, it's not really a problem, but it's just annoying. So you can get your scaffolding, and you're going to start piling upwards. So I'm going to cut back once I put all of this scaffolding in front of all of these pistons, just because it takes a while. So there we go, I will see you when this is done. So as you can see, we filled in the scaffolding, and now it's, well, done. So the next step is to start putting in scaffolding platforms. You may find if you keep going in one direction, it will start to fall. So that when it does that, you just move to the other side and fill it in. The reason we have these inside pillars in is because otherwise it can't reach on its own. So by adding these extra pillars, it means we can cover up the whole area, which is, well, the whole purpose of this. So Ethan will help me just fill in this hole. So I will cut to when this is done. So now we have got this fully layered thing here. We can cover it in sand. So again, shouldn't take too long. It's just sand. Like if you're digging this in the desert, you can just gather sand while you're here. It's not really something you have to bring with you. Though I would recommend building this somewhere where you know people will walk past it. If you're someone who just flew out to a desert to just build this, you're probably not going to get anyone walking past it. I built this on a server, and I built it straight outside someone's base, so they couldn't miss it. I also built a massive sign above it. Anyway, so this is now done. So, this beginner's going to decide that he's going to come in and cut a tree. So he just walks along to his nearest oak tree, decides to just have a cut. He sees an observer, gets very, very confused because he's a beginner, and kaboom! He is a beginner no more. As you can see, he was blown up. He's then going to respawn in. There we go, he's going to respawn in, and he's going to walk over to his next tree like nothing ever happened, being a beginner. And he's going to cut it. Going to keep cutting it, and falls in a hole. He's now stuck there, just watching the TNT happen. And kaboom, he is a beginner no more. 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . 。 . 。 . . . 。 . . . 。 . . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . So hello and welcome back to the next trap that you just saw. There are two ways of building this one, so we're going to go ahead and build them both. First, you go and find your tree, you're going to dig down, you're going to break the dirt block underneath it. This is the one that requires an observer, but it's so much easier to build. Then you're going to dig a small hole and fill it with TNT. That's about 20-25 blocks of TNT, not too much. The second way of doing it, I'm going to move away from there. It's a bit harder to do, but probably better. Or no, it's cheaper to do if you are just starting out and you don't have observer stuff yet. Just you get yourself a lever, you then get yourself put a block underneath that, and then you also get yourself a piece of redstone dust. So there we go. We're going to, this one takes up a bit more space. You're going to put a torch on all the sides around this, and then you're going to put some TNT around it like that. Make sure you don't put it next to the redstone dust. I have done that before. Sort of ruins the point of the trap when you're the one that makes it explode. Go away, Sleep. You're not a part of this video. And now we'll just then fill the top back in with dirt. If you want to put a bit more TNT around the edges, feel free. The more TNT, the better. To most people, except the person who breaks the log. And then the more TNT, the worse. And there we go. You have two traps ready to use on your friends. So this trap will make sure everyone respects that the farmer's crops are the farmer's crops in villages. New beginner will walk along, see, oh, a crop field. Will decide to maybe break some blocks and accidentally not pick them all up. So he'll break a few more. Some of them might end up in a hopper minecart below hand. Once he accidentally decides he's going to rob the poor farmers, he will no longer be a beginner. If anything, there will no longer be a village here. So the next one's going to be something that will fool all beginners, because you always head to a village, you see a crop field, and you just break everything, not caring about the villagers' feelings. Like from now on, they're going to start caring about villager feelings. So this is an easy trap to do. You first have to work out where one piece of their crop is, which is there. You also need to make sure there's no composters around, so a villager won't set this off by accident. You're going to put a rail down. No, you're going to put a hopper down, a rail down, and we'll also make sure we remove anything from there, and put a hopper minecart on top. Now just going to quickly fill that in. And now, you're going to want to dig out the rest of this crop field until you get to the very end. So there we are. Then there'll be the water there, so we're going to dig around that one. I'm just going to keep digging, so this whole area out here is empty. So just give that a second. We're going to place our comparator down. And now for the fun part. This whole area, you are going to fill with TNT. Something that someone mentioned, Michael, why don't you use TNT minecarts? And that's a good question, commenter, whose name I can't remember. The reason you don't use TNT minecarts is because they're, well, slightly more expensive. But the benefit of using TNT minecarts is they explode instantly, with no fuse. Our only problem with normal TNT is that it has a 3-second fuse. But there's enough TNT in here that you can be on the other side of the world and still hear the explosion. So now, that is how to build the traps you just saw. So, you're going to follow your beginner around the map to work out where he finally decides to log out. This beginner will log out wherever, and once he's logged out, you're going to work out exactly where he's logged out. And once you see that he's logged out, you're going to start working quickly. You're going to first dig down where he is, and just make a big hole. So we'll just quickly dig a 9x9 hole around him. Yeah, so you're going to dig all the way around this person's base, like I've done. I probably cut to this. I've also put a block down that's different to mark it out. Actually, we're going to dig down by another layer. So when they spawn in, even though there's no longer going to be that block there, it will still register the user there. Underneath, we're going to then dig down to here. So this level, which is one above the floor, and we're going to get ourselves some tripwires. tripwire hooks, and we're going to get ourselves some string. We're also going to dig away the blocks behind there and get ourselves some redstone. And we just put the first layer of redstone, then going to put some blocks back, get some tripwire hooks, and then we're also going to dig away. This doesn't have to blend in with the environment, which is why we can make it look quite messy, because he's not going to have enough time to see what it looks like. And put the redstone on top of there again. We're now going to do the same over here. Put a wall of redstone down, put a wall of dirt down. We're then going to put some tripwire hooks on top of it. And then we're just going to break behind here. We're now going to put some redstone dust. And now for this, it's not too bad, it's just not really enjoyable part of having to link all of these tripwire hooks up. You can tell once they're linked up because they'll be facing downwards like this is. They've got two states. This one's linked up to some string, but it's not all the way across yet, linked up to another tripwire hook, so they haven't lowered themselves down. So once you've done this, and they've all been fully linked in, if you walk through it, you should be able to see all of this goes off. Now if you care about around the buildings around here, you may want to get yourself some obsidian and replace every single block with obsidian. Which is what we're going to do quickly, not because we care about what's around here, but so once they spawn in, if they survive, it will make it annoying to happen. So if you know they've got pure netherite armor and not really a beginner, cover it in obsidian. If not, it's just Ethan. You can leave it as it is. But now we have all of this redstone, we will want it to power something. And what we want it to power, over here, we're going to get the redstone, and we're going to link it round to here. Where we're then going to get ourselves a activator rail and some TNT minecarts. Now you are going to have to be careful to make sure you don't set this off yourself. But if you go a block below rails here, place one, we look, there's no limit of how many you can place here. So just place down, I don't know, this is probably about a stack now. So that's a stack of TNT minecarts. Now very carefully, very carefully, because otherwise you will blow yourself up if you do it badly. You're going to go along, and you're going to do the same thing. There we go. Just put a few more there. So that's now 2 stacks of TNT minecarts. And you're not going to do a prank half-heartedly, so we're going to go along to the other side. Just, if you are going to do this, make sure the friend you're doing it to is a good friend, so that can take a joke, or do it to a friend that probably, if it's not a great friend, they probably won't be your friend after this, because there will be no stuff left. We're just going to go along, find this piece of redstone dust, lead it across, very carefully does it again, and put down another stack of TNT in there. So now if we fly out, quickly cover this part here to make a square, break this stone block, and then if our newbie player rejoins for us, please rejoin, he falls in, he sets off the tripwire, and sets off 5-10 stacks of TNT. The landscape is obliterated. I'm in creative and I fell out the world. The whole environment's ruined. After a busy day of being pranked, the noob walks back to his house for a sleep as it starts to set to sun tonight. As he goes to bed, he doesn't realise he'll be pranked in the morning. So while the noob's in his room, actually he's behind me just doing something, you're just going to cover the whole of his area in bamboo. you can come and help if you don't mind quickly. And this might not seem annoying, but when I did this to him before, if you do this 10 layers this way, all around their base, trying to cut it is really annoying for them. Because every time you break down a full piece of fully grown bamboo, it causes so much lag. The best part is though about this prank is it's a really easy one to set up, because you can cut down some of the bamboo while planting it, so you have more to continue spreading it about. But if you do it so it's just so thick they can't even get light through their windows, it's slightly annoying, but it's not too bad to clean up. Actually, yeah, Ethan there, we have a server together in SMP. He built a fairly big house, and it took me, he went on holiday, so it took me about a week to cover like 100 block radius of space in just solid bamboo. He ended up his solution to it just being making a fly entrance, so he could just go over it, because he had enough of cutting it down. There we go, it's quite a lot. So if we now go, I'm just going to increase the tick rule. You can't do this, you're just going to have to wait for it to grow. But there we go. And we're just going to leave it as that. And now we're going to cut to when the noob wakes back up. Up this morning, seeing his house being covered in bamboo. As he leaves, he'll try and break his way out. But the only problem with breaking bamboo, and why this prank is so mean, is if you build it deep enough, it causes problems. If you don't build it too deep, the person trying to break it, it makes loads of lag just watching all of these entities fall. So thank you for watching this video. I also want to thank my friend Ethan here for falling for loads of traps that he already knew was happening. So I want to thank everyone for joining in with this and for the help. So see you in the next one. Bye. Bye.